welcome to Aging Matters, a program featuring individuals who talk about aging-related issues of interest to older adults and their families. I'm Cheryl Beversdorf, your host. Because aging in place is an attractive option for many older adults, advances in technology are making it a safe and realistic option for them as they age. Technology offers a wide range of benefits and helps keep older adults safe and independent in their home, even when their health needs change. My guest today is Anthony Nunez, Chief Executive Officer of INF Care. He will talk about tablets, one of the many new technology devices older adults are using to improve quality of life. He'll explain the benefits of tablets, what to know before purchasing one, and how they can be used. Later in the program, he'll demonstrate what you need to know to enjoy the many features of a tablet. So welcome, Anthony, and thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Cheryl, for having me.
All right. Well, the thing that I want to start out with is for you to explain exactly what is a tablet. And in that explanation, I'd also like you to explain, is there a difference between a tablet and an iPad? What do we need to know?
Okay. A tablet is really a combination of a computer and a cell phone. It's really kind of an intermediate alternative to going full out on getting a computer. A little simpler to use in a computer and a little simpler and a wider screen in a cell phone. An iPad is actually a brand of tablet. So just like Ford is a brand of a car, iPad is one of the major brands of a tablet.
Okay, so for the most part, we really should be saying tablet rather than iPad because it's more generic.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I would agree.
All right, okay, so we're talking about older adults here. So explain the possible circumstances when an older adult might benefit from using a tablet. And so let's start with that.
Okay. I can think of three circumstances where a tablet would benefit an older adult. The first one would be when an older adult lives alone and they want to stay connected with other individuals, whether that be in their family or relatives. Another example, a second circumstance would be if they didn't live alone, perhaps they live with someone, but family lives far away and they want to stay connected with family. And I think you see that's very common today where families are moving everywhere and oftentimes the older relatives are kind of staying in one place that they're comfortable with. And then the third would be where an older adult has limited mobility or may not be able to move around as much as they could when they were younger. Those are three that are really great examples of where a tablet could be beneficial.
And from what I'm hearing you say then the tablet would also benefit a caregiver and the family members of this older adult, perhaps either when they're living together or maybe, as you had said, when they live further away. Would you agree? And if so, how could they benefit? Is it communication or is it more than that? Or what would you tell us?
I would say that it's definitely with communication and family. I think that's a key thing. You saw a lot of that in the early stages of the pandemic and the lockdowns, is families were desperately trying to stay in contact with their older, loved ones. And so it was a great way to stay in contact and really reach them frequently where they weren't able to necessarily travel. And, even if they do live far away, it's a great way to kind of stay up to date because it's more than a phone call. You're able to see them and hear them at the same time. And so it's a better experience for the family, but it's also a better experience for the older adult.
All right. And so given that, let's start talking about the benefits. Thinking of an older adult and all these examples that you gave in terms of the circumstances. So tell us more about the benefits. What, if a person, an older adult, has a tablet, how will life be better?
Well, it'll keep them connected. I think that's the number one option. It also can be something to really challenge them on a day-to-day basis because this is a new type of technology for them, perhaps, and it's a great way to kind of introduce yourself to technology. And then, other than kind of challenging them, it also can educate them. They can use it for education and really kind of get their foot in the door with technology by using a tablet.
And I'm also wondering if there's a visual component. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about the characteristics of a tablet, but is it possible also that like the family member can see the older adult as well on the tablet is also a possibility, and maybe kind of see how they're doing and if they look okay, and that is that a part of it? I was just wondering in terms of that visual component as well as listening to them talk. Would you agree?
I would agree. That's a major component, being able to see the person you're talking to,
Right.
Especially for a family member. On the phone they can say, I'm just fine, but when you're seeing them, you can actually read expressions off their face. Just like when we go to talk to someone face to face, oftentimes we're getting cues from that person, and having a video call, you can still get those cues, even though you're not face to face in person.
Well, let's talk a little bit about issues that may be apparent, or at least with the person, like physical and mental issues. Are there certain factors or traits that might prevent an older adult from successfully using a tablet?
There are a few that would make it challenging. Later stage cognitive disorders such as Alzheimer's or dementia, that would make it very challenging for an older adult to use a tablet. Later stage Parkinson's as well, because you are interacting with touching the screen. And then the final thing I would say would be a later stage visual impairment, because again, you are relying on the visual components on the screen to be able to interact and navigate. So those would be the factors that I would say would make it challenging.
Okay, and I was just wondering if perhaps they have arthritis or something. Is that a factor in terms of even touching the screen, or not so much?
It depends on the stage, really, of
Okay.
how bad the arthritis is. You don't necessarily have to push the screen that hard. It's really just a touch, and if you're able to kind of locate where to touch on the screen, then I think you can
No
definitely
problem.
navigate it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, one thing that is curious now, we're talking about this tablet, and I'm wondering if using the tablet is better, say, than some of these other technical devices that we're hearing about, like virtual personal voice assistants or wearables. I think that's what it's called, wearables, the watch.
Yeah.
How do they compare?
Well, one of the things that a lot of people don't recognize when you get a wearable is you're taking on additional responsibility. You have to remember to put that wearable on. You have to remember to charge it. Oftentimes you have to charge it multiple times in a day. And so that's kind of added responsibility. Then with the voice assistant, you're again taking on, and accepting the fact that you're basically just doing a search on the internet, and you could be getting misinformation. You could be getting, answers that are inconsistent. And so that's something you need to be aware of. With a tablet, the great thing about it is you're not overwhelmed with that extra responsibility. You can use it when you need it. Once you have it plugged in, that's all you have to really worry about. After that point, when you're interacting with it, then that's all when you need to do.
So to that point then, so tell me a little bit more about the features of a tablet that ensures that you are going to use it optimally. I mean, what do people need to know about why this is such a great invention, and are there some tablets that are better than others?
Yeah, so visual and audio, you want to have that on any interaction with technology, and tablets provide that. You can see what you're doing, you can see who you're interacting with, and you can hear them. So having both of those is a really great experience with a tablet. Not all tablets are created equal. That's the thing. There are tablet solutions out there that are provided for older adults that are really like a giant cell phone with a lot of menus, a lot of buttons, and it can get very confusing and really overwhelming. One of the things that we did at INF Care is really made it safe and effective and kept it simple. Keeping it simple is very important because it makes it more encouraging for the older adult to use.
And to that point then, would that be something that when the family member or even the older adult are purchasing it, that they need to keep in mind as to the features? Like when we walk into a store, or if they would be working with INF Care, what would they need to know?
Great question, and this is a very important one. No matter where you get a tablet from, if you're buying it from the store or getting a more focused tablet, always want to know 5 things. You want to know cost. You want to know what the security is, because again, this is something that's going to operate in your home. You want to know about the features, and I think a lot of times people understand when they buy a tablet from the store, it's not complete. You have to download software to be able to do some of the things we're talking about, the video calls with family. You have to download that. And oftentimes when families get an older adult, older relative, a tablet, they end up being kind of the troubleshooters for it and also the ones checking in, inadvertently doing the care. And I don't think everybody's necessarily up to speed when they get a tablet on all the things that come with it. The other one would, of course, be service. What do you do if it breaks? You know, am I going to have to take this back to the store? Am I going to have to ship this in the mail? And so these are all things that, you know, you really need to think about. And of course, how easy is it to use? That's the last one. You know, if it's difficult to use and I'm going to use it for a week and then put it aside, how effective is that at really giving me that experience of using technology and keeping me connected? It's not. So those are the things I would say you have to consider.
And so it seems like also as to what the needs are of the individual who's going to use it is really important. Would you agree?
I would agree, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And would that person really need to have technical knowledge?
Ideally, no. You know, when you get a tablet, regardless of the solution, you should not need to have extensive technical knowledge. If you do require extensive knowledge to interact with that tablet, quite frankly, the tablet's not designed correctly, and they didn't think about the end user. And so that's really important that whatever solution you get, try it out, look at a demo, really do your homework. It won't take long, but it will save you a lot of time on the other side of when you actually have it in your hand and maybe it's too complicated to use.
Okay. Well, to gain the greatest benefit from a tablet, it's necessary to learn how to navigate the system and understand the many ways it can be used. So Anthony is going to explain everything you need to know when you buy your tablet. So let's watch.
Hi, the INF Care Virtual Concierge Service is technology and human interaction in one. We send you the tablet. It's included in our service. And it takes approximately 4 steps to get online. And once you're online, this is what the screen looks like. And now you're active. Now our support team can reach you, and you can reach us and all the services that we provide. Let's talk about the different types of features that we provide on the virtual concierge service. One of the primary features is really being able to interact with our team on a daily basis. And so we check in on you every day, Monday through Friday, to see how you're doing and see what you need. And the way we do that is through a very simple interface where I can actually visually and audio hear my support team. And so right now I actually have Carla here from the INF Care support team checking in on me. Hi, Carla.
Hi, Anthony. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. You know, I haven't been drinking much water lately, so could you help me by setting a reminder to help me remember to drink some water later?
No problem. I'll go ahead and set that reminder for you. Once you get that reminder, go ahead and acknowledge it. That way I know that you received it. Is there anything else you need today?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Perfect. I hope you have a good day.
Great. So it's that simple. I don't need to log in. I don't need to enter meeting IDs. I don't need to jump through any hoops. I have a scheduled time with my care provider within INF Care, and now they check in, and now I'm good to go. But what happens if I need attention outside of that scheduled time? I can easily request a call from the support team by touching this button right here and then hitting call staff here at INF Care. And what that'll do is that'll send an instant notification, and they'll actually check in on me right away to see what it is that I need. Now, the video call and the connectivity is very important. But at INF Care, we believe in personalizing every visit because we recognize that every older adult ages differently. And one of the ways we do that is through automated conversations. These conversations happen multiple times during the day. They happen in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And those conversations are designed to help us understand areas of concern and also what your current status is and how you're behaving in your home. Are you sleeping? Are you eating? These are important things that can help us understand more about issues that are beginning to arise before they become an emergency room visit. Let's look a little bit about the conversations and how they work. Now, for this demo, I actually put 3 buttons on the screen, and those buttons are going to allow me to select a conversation. But normally, when I have the tablet, there are no buttons. The conversations happen automatically.
Good morning. How do you feel today? Touch to start.
So My mood is very important. Oftentimes my mood is a precursor to other events that happen that lead up to an emergency room visit. If I'm in a bad mood or I'm upset or I'm irritated, that can make me not eat. If I don't eat, I can get dizzy. If I get dizzy, I can fall. And so we at INF Care focus on really catching issues early on and addressing them before they become larger issues. So I can select a variety of answers here. Now, if I had selected a negative answer, our solution is actually going to take action on it right away before the next question comes up. The purpose of that is, again, to stay proactive, not only letting the INF Care support team know that you need assistance, but taking action on it right away allows us to address it before we have to see it become a bigger issue. For this, I'm going to select a positive answer so we can move forward.
How many hours did you sleep last night?
So again, sleep is a very important component. This is something we want to follow. How many hours you slept.
Are you experiencing any pain? How would you rate your pain from 1 to 9?
Of course, how I'm feeling is very important in terms of pain. I'm going to say that I'm not feeling too much pain right now.
Did you have breakfast this morning?
Breakfast is very important, and so is any meal. And being able to coordinate and understand how that senior is eating or how their food consumption is very important.
What time did you have breakfast?
What's equally as important is my patterns as well. Understanding where those patterns lie and where changes in my patterns begin to happen help us identify changes and address them before they become problems.
Great. Enjoy a relaxing day.
Great. So that information allows us to personalize and really focus on areas of concern that begin to arise at the very earliest stage. That is extremely important. Now, the next part is really the mental wellness component. We have a variety of games that we've designed with a well-known gerontologist to focus on not only understanding where your cognitive abilities lie and your memories are, but focus on sharpening them on a daily basis. And so what I'm going to show you is one of those activities that's designed for keeping my memory sharp. And it's called the digit recall. And I simply push the button in the corner, and now I can start the game. Now I get a simple set of instructions to let me know that I have to repeat the numbers that are shown to me in the order that they are. Now the beautiful thing about this is it challenges me. It'll get increasingly more difficult, but not too much where it frustrates me. So here I'm having to remember the first set of numbers. Okay, so I'm doing good. And again, if I miss a number, it's okay.
The time is 8:14 p.m. Anthony, remember to drink water.
This is a good transition because now we're looking at the fourth feature, which is the reminders, keeping me on task. And you can see here the reminder popped up in the middle of the game. We want to make sure that you stay on task and that if you have to remember to do something, that you do so at the time you need to and not wait for you to finish a conversation or finish a game. And so here, the reminder's up on the screen. I can hear it and see it. In order to clear the reminder, I'm going to go ahead and touch the screen.
Anthony, remember to drink water.
Now I've cleared the reminder. Now the good thing about this is the INF Care support team is on the back end watching to see that I've acknowledged and received that reminder. So those are the core features that we focus on. We focus on mental wellness. We focus on connectivity to care. We focus on keeping you on task. And we also focus on understanding where issues lie. All of this is because we believe care at home should be proactive. And we want to keep you independent. And with INF Care, it's all included, the technology and the service.
I hope Anthony's demonstration has helped you understand more about the features of a tablet and how it might enhance your quality of life. So, Anthony, I want to ask a few more questions. Now that we've seen this demonstration, I was wondering, can a tablet actually enhance brain health of an older adult, and if so, how?
It can, Cheryl, and it really depends on how it's implemented. One of the things you see now for software that has to go on the tablet is a lot of that software is geared towards younger generations. Very little software is geared towards older generations. One of the things we did with our solution is we worked with a well-known gerontologist to really implement a software designed for mental wellness specific to this demographic. And so that's really important because the challenges for older adults are different from the challenges of younger generations.
And so if I have a tablet and say I'm trying to connect with my older mom, and she has a tablet. So is it possible then for us to then connect, like an adult child with an adult mom, or I mean a mother?
Yes, yeah, of course it is.
Okay.
Depending on the tablet, of course, and whatever, if you buy a tablet from the store and get software, downloaded on it, depending on what software you have, of course, you can find a way to connect.
Okay, which is kind of go along the lines of what you said about tablets are not all made equally.
That is true, yes.
Got
That is
it.
very true.
Okay, so when a tablet is purchased, then how can an older adult or a family member learn how to use it? What are there tutorials available, or how does that work?
Great question. So when you buy a tablet, oftentimes in the tablet box, you go to the store, you buy a tablet. Inside the box, there's a small set of instructions. Now, I wouldn't rely on those instructions because, quite frankly, they're very short and they tend to jump over a lot of the simple, basic steps that one needs to know when they're starting off with the tablet. So I would suggest going online. There's a lot of videos, depending on the tablet you get. You can search for that specific tablet and watch videos, tutorials, and that would probably be the best way to do it, is watching those online tutorials.
And hopefully you will be able to understand everything watching those online tutorials.
Yes.
I see. And so, and would the tutorials that are available or the instructions really depend as to where you're buying it? I mean, I'm kind of wondering if there's different types of places where tablets can be purchased. So give us a little bit more information about that.
Yeah, tablets are pretty prevalent. I mean, most stores nowadays have an electronics section, and if they have an electronics section, they more than likely sell tablets. So, you can get it from a store, or you can get them online. But I think whichever you decide to do, if you go out and buy your own tablet or get it online, make sure you do your homework. Talk to your children, talk to your grandchildren if you have them, and also look at online reviews. That's a great way to make sure that you're selecting a tablet that will last and that will really fill the gap of need that you're looking to fill.
And what about the cost? I mean, I'm sure that too is all over the map, but what would you tell us?
The cost does vary for when you buy a tablet, from the store. It can range anywhere from close to $300 to over $1,000.
Okay.
So again, they're going to probably try to sell you the more expensive tablet when you go in the store. I would suggest go in the store. Don't buy the first time you go. Go in there to kind of do your homework, talk to them, learn a little bit, go home, then go back and eventually decide.
And again, I would imagine what your needs are too, in terms of the features and that, which is what you had said earlier. The other thing, because this is really now focusing on older adults, are tablets covered by Medicare or Medicaid? Any kind of insurance? Is that something that is the case or not?
Unfortunately, the tablet hardware device is not covered, but services are covered. For example, you can use your tablet, as many people have started to during the pandemic, to communicate with your doctor. That service of the doctor using it is actually covered, but that hardware device of the tablet is not, although it is moving in that direction.
Okay, and so then right now there isn't really any insurance that covers, as you said, the hardware. That would
No, not at this point, but it is moving in that direction. I expect within a year we'll start to see that happen.
Right, and that's a really interesting point about the telehealth, so that people could do the telehealth on their tablets as well. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so the other thing is problems. We all look at our computers or our tablets and wonder, what do I do? Help us know more about what to do if there's a problem. Do you take it back? Do you call somebody? Who do you call? What should older adults do?
So if you buy a tablet from the store and you have an issue, don't wait. Take it right back to the store, because oftentimes there's a very limited in-store warranty that comes with the tablet. If you don't take it back after a certain point, you're going to have to ship it back to the manufacturer at your own cost. So that's something to be aware of. A lot of stores do provide kind of added warranties. I would suggest those so long as you do your homework and see what they cover, because you want to understand, if I crack the screen, is that covered on this? If it just stops working and the battery dies, is that covered? So make sure you understand, all those components when you're making the purchase.
It actually sounds like you should probably take some expert along with you when you buy a tablet so that you know what questions to ask. Would you agree?
I don't know about an expert, but maybe somebody who has a tablet or has had a tablet for a year or more might be helpful to really help you make sure you get the questions you need answered. But I think it's still very important for the older adult to be there, because you're going to want to get this tablet for a specific reason, and you're going to want to know that it's fulfilling that requirement that you're looking for.
And they can ask questions too,
Yeah.
rather than wait until someone brings the tablet home and
Yes.
explains it to them. The last question I wanted to ask you is recommended resources. There's so much information out there. Is there a better place to look and as to where there's good information about tablets? What do we need to know?
Yeah. So getting a new piece of technology is a big step for anybody who hasn't done it before. These days, that step has gotten much bigger because technology is moving at a very fast pace. However, there's a lot of resources with community centers and universities that are nearby you that offer free classes for older adults. Those classes revolve around use of technology and sometimes can be even more focused. At INF Care, we actually offer free classes through local community centers here in Northern Virginia. So we're trying to do our part. And in those classes, we teach you about tablets, we teach you about the various types of care technology available to you, so you can be more informed when you go to make that decision on whatever type of technology you want to apply. And for more information, they can look at our website, inf.care, to learn about where those classes are offered here in Northern Virginia.
Okay, and are these in the community centers in Arlington? Is that where you're
Arlington
offering
is
them?
one location. We are also offering at different other cities: Fairfax, Falls Church, Reston.
Okay.
And we have other ones that we're bringing on board now. It's a free class, so and most of those classes are free or little to no cost. So, definitely take that as an option to really educate yourself.
And they just need to go on your website to sign up, or
They
how
can
does
go
that
on our
work?
website. If they can't, let us know what city they're in, and then we can forward them the community center sign-up page. So rather than have you go through and try to search it through the community center, just let us know what city you're in. We'll forward you, the information. If it's for Fairfax, we'll forward you their community center sign-up page. Try to make it as simple as possible so everybody can have a chance to take the class.
Okay. Well, I want to thank Anthony Nunez, Chief Executive Officer of INF Care, for joining me today. This program is broadcast Sundays at 5:30 p.m. and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on Comcast Channel 69 or Verizon Channel 38 in Arlington, Virginia, and streaming live at those times at arlingtonmedia.org. Aging Matters is also on the radio. The program is broadcast every Tuesday at 2 p.m. and Friday at 2 p.m. on WERA Arlington 96.7 FM. And be sure to check the Aging Matters website, agingmattersonline.com, for more information about all our radio programs and TV episodes. So thank you for watching Aging Matters TV show today, and please join me again for the next show. And until then, remember, age is just a number, not a label.